I really want to know how they got their name.
Right. And then we're about to get to it right now. So around 1844, somewhere in that time period, there was a tight election between John Quincy Adams and Andrew Jackson, which split the Democrat-Republican Party.
Andrew Jackson, greatest United States president of all time. You heard it here.
Well,
first.
you might question that when I hear in a second.
Never.
So basically, the party split. John Quincy Adams' party became the National Republican Party. Andrew Jackson became the Jacksonian Democrats. Later on, just called the Democratic Party. The National Republican became the Whigs. That was the name of the party. They were an opposition party, only in opposition to Andrew Jackson's party. They were not a single-issue party. They were a party of anti-slavery. They held moral reform. They wanted moral reform. They were against the harsh treatment of Native Americans under Andrew Jackson, who enacted the Indian Removal Act, which is the Trail of Tears, better known as. And then later on, the Whig Party kind of died out in a way. It kind of like split up and broke apart based on slavery, anti-slavery. Some people rejoined the Democratic Party. Other people broke off and became the Republican Party, which the Republican Party was born only in opposition to slavery. Mm-hmm. And the first president of the Republican Party was Abraham Lincoln. So, you have any changes on your opinion of Andrew Jackson?
No, I'll tell you why Andrew Jackson is the greatest American president ever.
Right.
Because while he was president, there was I guess like a ball or something, right. And an assassin walked in with two pistols, pointed them at Jackson, pulled the trigger, both pistols misfired, and Andrew Jackson proceeded to beat the living shit out of this man.
So your basis is that he's
badass. I don't give a fuck. That's badass.
He's a tough son of a gun.
Yes.
He'll beat your ass if you try to shoot him. But
on top of that,
what about
on top of that, he was in a duel. He used to. I mean, dueling was a thing back in the day, right?
Right.
He got shot in the chest. When this duel began.
Right.
And instead of falling down, he stood his ground, took aim, and straight up killed the guy he was dueling.
So you're basing it on the person that he was, not the policies.
Yes, not his policies.
Okay.
Obviously he was a tough motherfucker.
Right. But there's a reason why.
When's the last time you seen a president like that?
There's a reason why. Even back then, I don't think there was that many times somebody tried to kill you. There's a reason that somebody tries to kill you.
Right. But at the same point in time, let's move this to today's time frame.
Right.
Now, do you think if there were stories like that about the current president that Russia would have invaded Ukraine? Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. It would just help in general to have a strong president.
That's kind of what I'm getting into.
Right.
That's what I'm alluding to anyway.
So basically, that's kind of where I'm going to end it. On political parties, there obviously are a lot of other political parties. There's even currently now, I'm sure there's at least 25 different political parties in the country. However, there's only two that are in that actually hold real power in the country. Do I think we should get rid of political parties? Sure. I really do. I think it holds us back. Do I think we should have one political party? That way that way. I really don't think we should have a political party, but would you think having two political parties is better than having just one? Because if you only have one political party, then there's just infighting and there's no real factions attacking each other based on the.
I mean, on top of that, you would have more less varying opinions and ideas. I would think.
I don't know.
I think the whole political party, idea and thought process and, just stigma around it is so toxic, especially at this point in time, that just disband them. Guess what? If you're a candidate, you're just a candidate. You are your name. Go out there and run on your name, your ideas, your thoughts, your opinions.
I agree. I think it limits. Your opinion, like just being in part of a political party limits your ideas.
And the larger problem of this whole thing is money,
right?
Because these super PACs and everything, they raise a tremendous amount of money to support these political campaigns,
right? And they effectively are kingmakers.
I mean, I'd like to see them eliminated. I don't know how to go about doing that, but
I would agree. I do have a couple quotes.
Oh, a couple. One.
Just two. I couldn't decide between the two. Got Ray Bradbury, an author, the author of Fahrenheit 451. He says, "I hate all politics. I don't like either political party. One should not belong to them. One should be an individual standing in the middle. Anyone that belongs to a political party stops thinking."
Interesting.
And then I have one from Alan Moss. Who is Alan Moss? He wrote The Case for Socialism. However, I do not agree that socialism is the correct approach. I do agree with this quote.
Okay.
Alan Moss says, "Real change from the status quo will never come from electing a politician, especially not one who leads a political party dedicated to upholding the status quo."
Yeah, I mean, and think about this. Yes, he may have been, into socialism, a socialist, whatever.
Right.
But you know what? Sometimes you just gotta pluck ideas.
Yeah.
Not the whole, manifesto or whatever. Just pluck an idea from here, pluck an idea from here, pluck an idea from there. And you know what? Eventually, through time and effort and everything, it'll turn into something beautiful.
I think, not everybody's good, not everybody's bad, not everybody's perfect, not everybody's evil. There's everything is gray, and if you take some of that, the reason why it's gray is because there's a little bit of light inside of it, and if you can take little things from each person, even the most evil people in the world, just because somebody is somebody that did horrible things doesn't mean they had a good thought, a good idea, or didn't have a good part of themselves.
Right. Yeah.
That's not an endorsement of the horrible things or horrible ideas that they do. It's basically taking a nuance of something and creating light from a dark subject.
Yes, free thinking, or critical free thinking.
Right.
I don't know if that's a thing, but I am just now coining that term if it's not.
I would say that it is. I think free thinking in by definition is critical thinking.
Yes, very true. All right, well, yes, interesting. Political parties. Thanks for putting that together, Casey.
You're welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm of course Gregor Guy.
My name is Casey.
And that will be this week's episode of Bang Head History. And everyone out there watching, enjoy the rest of your week.